What's up, guys? Up and comer with another how to carry video if you're in low elo. Now this time we're playing in the off lane instead of the jungle, and we're playing tanky Greystone. So one of the first tips I've got for you, if you're playing in the off lane, before the game starts, go ahead and talk to your jungler. Ask if you can have some of the camps on the left side. If you can have both of the camps, hey, great. If not, typically junglers are willing to let you have the camp closest to your lane. My jungler was willing to let me have both of them. So I'm starting with both the jungle camps, get myself a little CP and XP. You'll notice my start, I went health pot, mana pot, and a strike token. That's just so I can sustain, and I have a little something when I get back to lane after taking these two camps. Once we take that camp, if our opponent's fast pushing, we can get to the turret and defend. Since the Twin Blade has, or Twin Blast has it frozen, we're going to go ahead and just stay on the camp. This cheeky support tries to gank me in my own jungle. Unfortunately, we can't get her. But since I don't have to defend my turret yet, I'm just going to finish farming. Fortunately, the game was a little laggy right here, as you can see in the video, but it only lasted for a little bit. So we get poked down, we've got to go back. We can't risk dying early in the off lane. We don't want to feed any kills to the enemy ADC. That's the highest DPS character on the enemy team. So as an off laner, it's definitely in your best interest not to feed any kills to him. If that means you have to give up this turret instead of dying, that's perfectly okay. No matter what flack your team gives you for losing the turret, it's really hard to hold that turret as an offlaner, unless you happen to get some lucky kills and get ahead of it. If you have a decent support ADC combo, it's just really difficult to defend that turret for a long period of time without a lot of help from your jungler. And as an offlaner, you don't want to be pulling resources from other parts of the map. You don't want to be calling for help all the time from your jungler or your mid laner. You just need to farm your side of the jungle, or at your turret to the best of your ability, and just withstand as long as you can. Now, if you have a good opportunity for the jungler to gank, for example, if the enemy lane is pushing up to your turret over and over again, they're fast shoving the wave. That's a great opportunity for your jungler to gank your lane at, say, when you're both level 3. But other than that, as an offlaner, you should expect to be on an island. Any other MOBAs, I would compare it to top lane. If you play League of Legends, you're on an island. So farm what you can, as you see me doing here, defend your turret. Don't feed kills to the enemy ADC. Now, unfortunately, the enemy team is going to freeze this lane right in front of their turret. So at this point, my ADC support combo have been able to get their turret down on their side of the map. And so at this point in the game, you should be looking to rotate, swap sides with your ADC support combo. We want them to be on the Raptor side of the map. so that our marksman can be getting the raptors when our team's able to take that objective. So now that they were able to get that turret down, they're still pushing their lane, trying to gain an advantage there. And I'm defending this turret, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to keep it up much longer. Did get a little assistance from my mid laner. And this is great that she's able to come help me out, but unfortunately she's going to push the wave here, which is not in my best interest. If you don't know anything about wave management, then one thing you need to understand is that the wave will push by itself, but if the enemy team is farming the wave, if they're killing minions slowly, it's going to push really, really slow. So we don't want to push our wave to their side of the map where they can make it slow push to our side. That forces me to overextend if I want that farm. So you definitely don't want to be hard shoving the wave. You want to freeze the wave. Just last hit the minions once to get the CP from them. Don't actually attack them at all otherwise. If you can, on your side of the map near your turret, freeze the wave so that you can farm there, you continuously farm, and they have to, the enemy has to overextend in order to push the turret or to farm the wave. But again, since they froze the wave, I'm able to farm my jungle until my ADC support duo wants to come over and take this lane. As soon as they're here, I just go ahead and take off over to the right side of the map. Now in this sort of situation, when you have a fight going on mid, you definitely don't want to leave. You want to stay and support your team. Alright, and since the enemy offlaner is freezing his lane as well, we're just going to go ahead and back, because we have plenty of time to get to our lane. The enemy offlaner is doing what we would want to do if we had stayed in our lane. He's in a safe portion of the map. He doesn't have to worry about the enemy ganking him. He's able to just slow farm there. If, when you do swap, if the enemy offlaner is freezing the wave, you need to apply wards so that you're not ganked when you push up. But you have to push up and break his freeze. That means you have to kill all the enemy minions in the wave so that your wave starts pushing again. And if you don't break the freeze, then it's going to put you at a severe disadvantage later on in the game. You're not going to be able to get the farm that you need. Because on this side of the map, it's a long ways to farm the jungle, so it's not worth your time to go into the jungle to farm. You're just an advantages on your side of the map. One of the great things about Greystone, he's really hard to 1v1 because of his ult. So when you're in a situation where it's offlane versus offlane, unless the other offlaner is really far ahead, you should be fine to go ahead and 1v1 him, push him off of the wave so that you can farm it. Now, we do not want to freeze the wave here. If we were on the other side of the map, we would freeze the wave. But in this situation, we need to be able to get to our team in mid lane to push objectives and to team fight. So I'm going to fast push the wave so that I can get to my team. Before I can push the wave up to get to my team, I have a gank from their mid laner. We'll be able to make a really good victory watching the mid laner rotate, but howitzer does howitzer things, so he's able to get out of the zone.
Enemy has been slain. An enemy tower is under attack. An enemy tower is under attack.
Unfortunately, off the back of that team fight, the enemy team is able to push up on this turret and get quite a bit of damage down on it before we're able to respond. That's just an advantage that they had because Kalari was left in that lane pushing when I had to go to the team fight. Because the howitzer came, I had to back up. They were able to get the lane pushing. So this is just why you want the lane to be pushing in your favor before you rotate, so that they can't just rotate over to your side or rotate over to the other side of those lanes are pushing.
Enemy has been slain. An enemy tower is under attack.
So in this situation, I rotated over to help my team, but there wasn't a fight. So now we just go back to our 1v1 lane, our island. And honestly, offlane is a lot of this. This is a pretty uneventful game for the most part. It kind of goes by the book, so this is pretty typical of what you'll see offlane. Just turning around immediately to get back to the fight because my team needs me. Now, if you aren't already doing this in your games, what you should be doing is turning team fight wins like this into objective secures. So, for example, off the back of that team fight, we're going to take the Raptors. We're going to get those for our ADC. And then immediately I'm headed back over to right lane to farm. We do this so that we can snowball our advantage. It's not enough often. Often when you have teams that are fairly evenly matched, it's not enough to just be winning team fights to win a game. If you want to be able to close out the victory, you have to be able to snowball your advantage. You have to be able to build on it, make it bigger and bigger. So that's what we're trying to do with gaining Raptors and other advantages, objectives on the map like that. Basics if you've played any MOBA.
Enemy tower destroyed.
So my team was calling for assistance in the mid lane. just here to act as backup. I'm kind of like the bouncer. If something goes on, I can immediately jump to the back line and start zoning them off in the fight. Because in a lot of these team fights, what's going to end up happening is Chimera is going to end up jumping into my team. So if I can zone their DPS off of my team, they can kill Chimera and we can re-engage the fight. And if while I'm doing that, I die, my ult is popped, which just slows everybody around me, does even more damage. So it's just a really good way to navigate the team fights as Greystone offlane. So far we are sitting at 0 kills. I honestly don't think I get a single kill this game, which is fine. And we're able to get XP and some CP from the assists that we get. But the point is, you don't have to carry through kills. You can carry through gameplay. So what we're able to do in zoning, what we're able to do in team fights, as well as provide constant pressure on the map, is more valuable than if we were getting a bunch of kills. We have other players on our team that fill those roles. That's the whole purpose of a spellcaster. Anybody else in the map can do that damage. As Greystone, we want to provide utility for our team. We want to provide zoning. We want to provide initiation of the sneak. And that's what you see me doing here. I'm not trying to get any kills. I'm just simply going back and forth between the targets that need zoned away from the rest of my team. Now, of course, it's key as you're doing these things that you're able to communicate with your team. You might want to let your team know ahead of time if you're playing this particular style that you're going to be zoning. You're not going to be diving in going for kills. They might be accustomed to something else from Greystone, but we definitely want to play a more utility role with them. Luckily, off the back of our death, we don't lose that turret. Our team's able to defend. So in these situations, I'm just providing the backup where I can. Now that I'm back up, I'm just clearing mid lane so it doesn't push into our turret, so that our team can go ahead and contest raptors. I was a little slow to get there, but as soon as we can, we get there. Because they do just 2 spots, luckily they were low. But unfortunately, we can't really get into the back end of it. So, another suggestion, if you're going to be taking the green buff, you definitely don't want to waste it. So like in this situation, I'm taking the green buff and there isn't really anything going on in the map. Try not to do this if you can in your games. This is a really good tool for initiation because it gives reflected damage and it also explodes for AoE damage. So it's really good to initiate with, and you don't want to waste it. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be getting the green buff. That's your lane farm. Now the video glitches right here, but he was actually invisible, and then I dropped a ward to find him. So I know it looked like I just jumped into a random area and then lost track of what was standing right in front of me, but he was actually... Luckily, as Greystone, we have enough time with our second life for our team to come and back us up, and we're able to turn that fight and actually get a kill off. That was a great stun. It's just really out of reach. So in that sort of situation, you should be communicating with your team as soon as you get the gank. I'm letting them know that you're going to be kiting back, and what I was trying to do is get to my team, where we could be in an advantage by the time that my ult was popped. Hopefully, that would be better off than if it's way down in that lane where my team's going to be running in as they're killing me. So. And the whole time, we're just building health and damage. If you have somebody who's super fed, for example, if the enemy ADC is fed or if the enemy mid laner is fed, you can go ahead and grab your ability armor or your armor or items early instead of building health damage. But if you're doing all right in lane, or you're ahead in lane, I would definitely recommend just building straight into health for your tank stats, and then just a little bit of damage, so that you can be somewhat valid when you jump into the back line. I mean, if you jump into the back line, you can't kill anybody, you can't get anybody low. They're just going to ignore you. But so in this situation, this was actually planned. I was playing as bait, and luckily they took bait. Take off the stragglers once they're doing the kills, we can just keep on chasing. Clary does Clary things and gets out. Again, he was invisible there. For some reason it doesn't show up in the video.
An enemy has been slain.
So immediately off the back of that team fight, we noticed that we're able to take Prime. And I would highly recommend in your games, if you're looking for opportunities to take neutral objectives like the Raptors. In this situation, even though Clary comes, there's 4 of us. As soon as you take Prime, the enemy team comes in, oxygen and matogenic being already. So it allows you to go and take the fight in a lot of situations.
Enemy killing
And then immediately off of that objective, since we won another team fight, we're going for the next objective, which is the closest turret. So you look to either side, left or right from where you are, and if there's a lane that's pushed more than the other, you go to that lane and you push the rest of the lane to take the turret. Again, just basic mobile 101, but hopefully if you're watching my video, and a lot of these basics.
An enemy tower is under attack.
And you can see how slowly snowballing your lead turns into massively snowballing your lead. Unfortunately, in this fight, worked out in our favor. And we're stuck over here farming a lane.
An enemy has been slain.
So in this sort of situation, I would highly recommend killing the ranged creeps and letting your wave during the pushing. Letting your wave just push out. And then collapsing mid. I'm actually late on this rotation, but luckily they weren't able to push anything off of it. And then because we don't know where they are, I kind of help out my teammates, just make sure he can go into his jungle safely. I don't have to back him up before I head back over to my lane in order to push the wave out. And so even though we've been pushed up to our base, the plan still remains the same. I'm still going to push my wave out. Now I do apologize about this. There are some bugs with the Paragon video replays. Howitzer is invisible. For whatever reason, not sure. But you can see him on the mini-map, you just can't see him in game. It's only for these next few minutes, and then the bug seems to go away. Alright, so now that we were able to push him out of our lane, we need to fast switch our lane so we can group up mid. Because our team is calling for us to go mid. So we actually don't end up going mid, we actually end up fast pushing our lane. The enemy team is, and our team are kind of dancing each other in the mid lane, so we're going to apply pressure. Because we know where they are, we know that the only one here could be Kalari. We can push together. So again, I'm just zoning Kalari away from Delica, letting her do her thing while I can add in damage to the turret or whatever. And we're able to successfully push down the inhibitor based on the pressure that our team is actually riding into. I should have just got out after my ult was popped, or even before. But in this situation, the invisible howitzer was still chasing me. I knew I was dead, so I tried to get a kill out of it. Unfortunately, I overstayed. Never should have been there. After the inhibitor, I should have backed off. dance of the two decks. So at this point in the game, we're one of the tankiest people on on either team, and you can start to get really fearless with the Greystones. You're going to see in some of these team fights. We're going to start going pretty deep. We can zone really effectively if we have our ult up. As we come in late to this fight over Raptors, we're able to just immediately dive the back line because that's for sure. But unfortunately, Chimera is currently 1v4ing my team, so I've got to break off the rest of the camera. So we were able to get out thanks to our ult, and now we're the only one left to defend this turret. So my mission here is to just delay them as long as possible. Kill as many minions as I can, and hopefully not die, so that we can save the turret. But unfortunately I end up going down, but we don't lose the inhib. That ends up being worse. If you end up dying in defensive inhib and they don't get it, chances are you made the right call. Now that's of course not true in any situation, but in this situation it was the right call. And the entire time we're doing this, our right lane, because we got that inhib down, is just able to push into their base. So because we were able to do that, everything they do puts them on a timer. How much damage is their core gonna take? If that wave is able to get there before they can get back. So at this point in the game, what we need to do to close out is stay on top of the neutral objectives, which is what we're going to do here, and then push the lanes that have the inhibitors up. So basically, we have the rest of the team zoning, while our Sparrow goes ahead and grabs the bar. Late game, minions are carried, so people have to go ahead and solo buff. So this is a great tool to secure it. So now we have Orb Prime, and we're able to push the other two lanes. Closest lane to us is mid, so I grab the wave, and here we go. If we play this right, it should be able. It should be the end of the game. All I'm going to do here is zone their team. I don't want them killing the minions. I want our ranged players to be able to take down the turret. So after I've zoned them often and we've gotten a little bit of damage down on the inhib, I'm going to back up so that we can reset. As soon as the next wave gets here, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And of course, I'm communicating this to my team. I'm going in, you guys can take the inhib. Backline, because we have our ult. So there was a call to retreat, which is why you see some of the team retreating while the rest goes forward. But we're able to just go ahead and close the game out in front. And so all game, we didn't get a single kill. We ended the game with 4 deaths and 13 assists. But the name of the game in that situation was we were a zoning tool, we were an initiation tool. We just enabled our team to do the work that they needed to do. And that's how you carry with Greystone.